Were you able to get that little clippings in it? Oh, go ahead.
And we are back to the work readiness training job. And where we left off last time we met was on cover letters. So what is a cover letter? A cover letter is often the first contact that the employer has with you. This is the first thing that they see on paper of you. So you will want to make sure that your cover letter is on point. This is the time that you brag about yourself in a good way, not in a conceited way, but you're letting the employer know all that you know, what you've done at your previous jobs. And if you've never worked before, if you had any babysitting jobs, landscaping, meaning cut your grass, somebody's grass, there you go. You will put all that information in there.
Okay, Steve. We're talking about the length and style of a cover letter and the address information that should go in a cover letter also. So that is the structure of the basic elements of a cover letter. Now what we're going to do is go over the paragraphs of a cover letter. The first paragraph of a cover letter states why you are writing it. If you are responding to an advertisement or opening, identify the position and how you learned of it, i.e., did you learn about it from the internet? Did you learn about it from word of mouth? That's a friend telling you? Or did you hear about it from another employee who works at the company? That is really important because they may ask you, how did you find out about this opening? Also, if you are inquiring about a possible opening, identify the position, the field or general professional area in which you are interested. Now, if we can bring up the slide where it says cover letter, and then we'll go to the middle paragraph. Uh-oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so we should be going to cover letter middle paragraph. Okay, I'm going to go on and it'll pop up there. So the middle paragraph tells the story of your resume, and it connects you to the position that you're applying for. And it indicates your interest in that position. Thank you, dear. It indicates your interest in that position and the organization and its products. That is so important. Especially if you want those people to believe that you truly want to work for them, know about stuff like that, search out the organization and its products. Explain your academic background, why you're a qualified candidate for the position. Point out your specific achievements or unique qualifications, that are relevant to that position. Try not to state information using the same words you use in your resume. All that means is know your employer, know something about them. I used to go to the internet, download things about them. And so I would say, okay, they were community involved. They were one of the top Fortune 500 companies. They produce an excellent product, or their company had a good reputation. I had applied for a job, the only one I didn't get that I applied for in my life. And I felt so downcast until I found out 4 days later, their company closed. So it was a good thing. God was guiding me because that company was not a reputable company. I should have searched the company's history. Explain how your academic background qualifies you for it. Say you haven't had a job before, young people, and you're a straight A student, put that down. Any relevant information that shows your qualifications because you stay the course, because you're academically sound. If you're applying at a store, math skills, you're strong in math skills. Those are relevant to the position you're applying for. If you're applying for something at a store, or even in a warehouse, you have to learn you have to count. You have to know how to organize and structure things. Those are positive things. And those are things that you learn in school. Say you were a tutor and you help tutor young people at the Boys and Girls Club while you're in high school. Put that down, because that is relevant information. Don't be long about it, but relevant information that shows you shows the employer what you can do for their company. Now, your closing letter, you close your letter with a statement that encourages a response. By that I mean, you let them know that you're in the city where the company is, or you will get to the city where the company is located, and that you are available for an interview. When they ask you when can you come in, you say, when can you open the door? Because you want to let them know that you're eager to get this job, and you'll travel, do what you have to do to get this position. So, and don't forget to sign your name. It is a mute document. It's not a document. It's not a legal document. It's not a committed document if the hard copy is not signed. Proofread, and then have someone else proofread it. A precise document is a key to getting to the next level. So those are the basics. 4, maybe 5 points of a cover letter. Now, Ms. Smith will talk about the cover letter again. So, and Ms. Smith, would you, it's so important. So if you have anything to say in a cover letter before I go into the do's and don'ts of it, please jump right in.
One of the things is make sure that you don't use real fancy text lettering.
You're right.
Sometimes it can be so, you may think it's cute or stylish, but sometimes it can be so stylish that, or it could be so unique that the person can't read it.
That's true.
So you want to use, what is it, block lettering, or just Arial, just basic lettering. Don't get too fancy with that. Don't change the color, and keep it basic, keep it simple.
Very true. I mean, you've seen some of the resumes that came across our desk, and we couldn't read them because they were trying to be too cute, and it got tossed into the circular file. Mm-hmm. So I'm being honest with you. Yeah. Employees do not have the time. And there are many there. For every 500 jobs, there's probably 1,000 applicants or more. And that's being nice, kind, Okay, let's think about this. Let's think about some do's about cover letter writing. The do's about resume and cover letter writing. Do tell the company how you can help them. What can you do for them? It's going to be a lot of candidates. What makes you special? What big thing can you do? And maybe what small thing can you do that can grow into a bigger thing if you're an entry-level candidate, okay? Talk about your skills, like we said before. Church clubs. How many skills can you learn at church? Working with young people at church, doing a lot of things at church, working in the office at church. Helping the pastor organize his files or prepare things. So put that down. Clubs, after school clubs, academic clubs, So now let's not get wordy, but think about the skills that you acquire, the transferable skills that you acquire when you do things with the community, for your churches, and in different venues. Internships, volunteer experience, food bank. Okay, you work at the food bank, right? The food bank will help you do what? Help you learn how to move material, package, ship, do whatever you have to do. So right away, if you're going to Amazon, you have a heads up right there. The food bank is a good place to volunteer your time, and volunteer your time, young people. That gives you experience. Okay, research the employer. Oh, like I said, research the employer. Know that they're a reputable employer. You do not want to get caught up in an employer who doesn't have their stuff together, because pretty soon you're going to be unemployed. So right now, with businesses shaky as they are, you have to know what foot they're on. So go on the internet, find out something about them, find the good things that they do in the community, find out what products they are merchandising, and get to know them. And when you walk into the employee's interview and they say, what do you know about the company? And you run it down, they like that because that means you did your homework. Okay, customize your cover letter. Do not do a template. Don't just slap one up there and sign your name to it. Make it personal. Make it personal. Let them know that you took the time to customize it to their needs. Okay, be honest. I want to say I was vice president. Well, I can say I can be vice president now. We've been broke in. No, I'm not going to go there. We broke through. So I can be vice president now if I want to, as a Black woman. You can cut that out, Julia, if you have to. I'm proud on that one. Black woman walking. So anyway, be honest about what you did, because if you lie, they're going to find out later when you can't do it. If I said I could type, they would find out that I can't. And so I could possibly lose my job, or they would have confidence in me, lose their confidence in me, and I would not move up in the company. Ask for a peer review on your paperwork. Ask for a peer review. Ask for a peer review. Let someone else look at it. Let another young person look at it. You know why? They'll be honest. Lady Gray may not want to hurt your feelings, so she may say, that's not too bad, young lady. But you ask young Mr. Gray, the youngster, I forget his first name, that comes on, he'll probably tell you what it looks like, because young people are brutally honest sometimes. So, and okay, I'm going to round this up quickly. Don't repeat your resume. They already have your resume. You don't need to put everything in your resume on your cover letter. Don't have grammatical errors. That's a given. We've already discussed that. A sloppy cover letter is not even going to make it in the door. Don't make excuses for the skills you don't have. If you don't know, tell them you're willing to learn and move on. Don't make excuses. If you can't do it, you can't do it because you never learned to do it yet. But you let them know that if you give me this opportunity, I'll be the best employee you'll have. Don't make it too long, as we have said before. And don't forget to call into action. By that, it means you thank the employer for that interview. You tell them that you are waiting by the phone. If you have a child, the babysitter is waiting by the phone for the call, so they'll know that you will be there regardless if you have children or not. And you will immediately come back for a second interview if necessary, because you want that position. Thank them, tell them that you will be waited with bated breath by the phone. And one thing we're going to get into, because it's really important what you do, that handshake, that sealing handshake when you leave that interview leaves a strong impression on the people. When you stand up, shake their hand, and you say to them, thank you so much for allowing me to talk to you about my passion, about why I want to work here. That's a big deal. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Smith, and she is going to get us started on the exciting part. And I'm going to go capture that young man myself. And oh, he's here. Oh my, I'm so happy. Young Mr. Gray. Oh, my heart, you see, I had a little miserable moment until you showed up. So I'm feeling good.
Hello.
All right. All right. I am smiling now.
Right. Get to module 5, our last module, and we're going to talk about interviewing skills. Now, some people love to interview. They have they're that dreaded. And so today, one of the segments that we're going to be talking about is, it's coming up again, proper attire and interview skills, follow-up letters, and thank yous. So again, you're going to hear this constant, you're going to hear it again, because that's the reason why, is because it's very important. Mm-hmm. So on interviewing skills, first impressions, dress for success, proper interview attire, women and men. First impressions are lasting. Remember that. First impressions are lasting. If you don't get anything, if you want to remember and be successful at your interview, know that that is so important, because people will judge you based upon how you look, how you speak, and you want to put your best foot forward. So dressing for success is, again, the main is the meat of part of your interview. Speaking to the supervisor is wonderful, but depending on how you dress is going to determine how long your interview may be in some cases. Okay, ladies, we know that what to wear. We are to wear business attire. Gentlemen, the same thing: slacks, jacket, or the Izod, I don't know what the name of the polo shirts, and ladies, slacks, a blouse, jacket, or a dress. Now, today I have on shock you colors, make you blind pink. I will not, but this is something that I will wear after I got the job. But while I'm going for that interview, I'm not going to hit them with the pink, okay? Or any bright color. So remember, know your audience, know that you are in for an interview. Skirt, comfortable shoes, blouse, gentlemen, pants, shirt and tie, or pants and slacks and the polo shirts. Okay, dress for the job that you are going for. If you're in construction, you are not going to go suited and booted with a shirt and tie. Ladies, there are ladies in construction. That's wonderful, because they're making the big bucks, because it's a what is it? I can't remember the term. It's a profession that they normally don't go into, but they get paid very well. So again, dress for what you are going for. Dress
Thank you. Excellent. That's true. Every word you said was so important. Thank you. First impressions. You are what they see, unfortunately. You may not be what they see, but you are what they see. If you go in frantic, and I am guilty today of being frantic, and guess what? When you're not calm, you're not collective. You're not stable. Your thoughts aren't sound, and you're not making eye contact. Your head is usually down, or you're frustrated. And that employer will say, if they're like this at the interview, what if we have a hard task at work? How are they going to respond? So it's so important that first impression, when they see you, you walk in, you're calm, you have a smile on your face, you look them directly in the eye. You stick out your hand and you greet them with a firm handshake. Don't break their hands, but a firm, professional handshake. Proper handshake. You reach out, you clasp it, and you shake very gently, looking them in the eye with a smile. Not nervous. Yeah, you're going to be nervous, but tuck that nervous deep down in your soul. Pray, tuck that nervousness in your soul. Stick out your hand, grasp theirs, tight, but not too tight, but firm enough to say thank you for that interview. Your overall demeanor has to be one that personifies calmness, a sureness, and a stability. Stay sharp, stay relaxed. It's easier said than done, but you can do it. Because if you want that job bad enough, believe it or not, first impressions really, really do matter. And it may depend on your getting that position or not. So please, that old they say woosah. I say pray to God, but a lot of people say woosah. Say a prayer before you go in. Ask for calmness and spirit, and you have it. You can do this. Now, Ms. Smith is going to talk about things to take to an interview. You never think about that, but there are things you should take to an interview.
Number one, you should take your resume. Take resume and cover letter. You will take the more seasoned adults will say, take your phone book. New generation, you're going to take your phone because it has list all your contacts in there. When you list your contacts in your phone, also list their address, not just the phone number and email. Also make sure that they have the address in case the employer would like to mail them a questionnaire about you or whatever. So resume, cover letter, phone book or phone with the complete information on your references. Take a little notepad and pen just in case you have questions during your interview that you should always ask, and Mrs. White will get to that later. But take a pad and pencil or paper. Pad, pencil, or okay. Okay, and those are the things. Also make sure you have your ID, because we're thinking in a positive way that you're going to get hired. So you need your ID. You may need your social security number. If you don't know it by heart, please take your social security number. And also, depending on the type of job, you may need to show your proof of insurance if you drive, or if you need to drive for that job.
That's right. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Smith. One thing too that goes in line with that, I used to do, and it falls right into learning the history of the company before the interview. And I would download from the internet a packet on the company. I would download all of their successes. I would download their productivity, and I would have it neatly put in an envelope or a small pouch, and I would say, I would like, this is what I found in your company. And I was so impressed by it. I thought you would like to see the things that I learned about your company. You know, I did that, and someone thought that was ostentatious. But do you know, they appreciated the time I took to search them because they were very proud of who they were. So when I showed them what I found out about them, she said to me, you know, I didn't even know this. I didn't know our net gross was this amount. I didn't know that we had we were a Red Cross supporter. So when I showed them what their company did, she was truly impressed. So that was pretty, you know, that gave me a big plus. So that is really important. Learn the organization, information about an organization that you're going to join. So we're going to go to interviewing skills. Oh, this is my favorite part.
The interviewing skills. When you get that awesome call to say, we want you to come in for an interview, do not panic and say, I can't do this, and hyperventilate. What you're going to do is, as Mrs. White said, be calm, cool, and collect, and think about the things that you should do at an interview. Number one, and it may sound crazy because it's basic knowledge, but the night before or the day of, however you want to do it, make sure that you have your dress attire correct. Make sure, and there were some young ones in our program that we had to say, get a bath or a shower. Make sure that you do not offend when you go in there, because when you smell yourself, everybody else is tired. So understand that you need to be ready in all ways. Do have your resume, as we said, your resume and cover letter, all that. You also, it was something else I wanted to say. Be on time. Oh my goodness, be on time, because they're going to be looking at when you enter that room or that office. If your appointment's at 10 and you get there at 10, you're late. Okay, so you need to be there 15 minutes ahead, 15 minutes ahead of time. You don't want to be way too early, because then you're taking up space in their office. They don't want you there just hanging around. We had one young man that got there about an hour and a half early, and he was asking for candy and just talking. He was being friendly, but it was making the staff kind of leery, it made them feel uncomfortable. Do not, oh, yes, the don'ts. Do not chew gum. Do not chew gum and candy while you're in your interview. Turn off your phone. Detach from your phone for an hour. Please turn off your phone, because it's nothing more annoying than having your phone ring while you're in the interview, and worse, you answering the phone. No, do not take your friends and family with you, because you have to go somewhere after your interview. They are not to sit in the office or the building. If something happens and your ride has to stay there while you're interviewing, have them stay in the car. All right. Also, be careful. This is a maintenance thing. Be careful of the perfume or cologne that you wear, because some people may be allergic or sensitive to it. So just be mindful of that. I know that may be your best scent and you just feel comfortable when you wear it. To you, it's comforting. To someone else, they may be highly sensitive to it. And it was one more thing. Please say please, thank you, yes ma'am, no ma'am. If they ask you to call them by their first name, that's fine. But if not, it's sir, ma'am, Mr. X, or Mrs. Y. And I know Mrs. White was talking about shaking hands. Another thing to think about, because COVID is running rampant, I don't know how you think about this, Mrs. White, but if they put their hand out first, then it's okay to shake.
They won't. If they're smart people, they won't. Hopefully not. Because I don't think an employer would do it now.
That's what I'm saying. That if they put their hand out, fine. But I don't know. That's a.
We're gonna talk about a virus-free world, because we're going to be interviewing these young people, and people after them will be interviewing forever. Amen. So we're going to say in the future, hopefully the near future, that is what normally we do. But right now, if they want to give you an elbow bump, that's about it. But but I don't think you're going to be doing too much handshaking.
And if you're interviewing online, make sure the room that you're in is appropriate. Make sure it's clean, the background. Remember, they're seeing the background of your room, of where you are interviewing. Make sure it's a quiet area. Close the door. Let everybody know that you're on an important phone call, but also just be mindful of your surroundings. Okay.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Ms. Smith. Thank you so much. Now, we're going to be looking at some, the next slide will show us some sample questions to expect on an interview. And I'll go ahead until that slide comes up. Oh, okay. Well, are we going to look at that slide first? Oh, we're going to just go on. Okay. Uh-oh. I'm going to back up one more. I'll just go ahead and we'll catch up on that, okay? There's some sample questions, and these questions are what to expect at an interview. What should and should not be asked at an interview. Now, during an interview, there's certain questions that aren't apropos, that you don't usually, an employer shouldn't ask them, or it is kind of not right to ask them, because it delves into someone's personal life, or something that can keep them from getting the job, because the employer may say, oh, they're political, they didn't vote for my party or something like that. So political, are you married? That's, and the reason why I say that, some people feel that husbands may not like wives to work late at the office, and they see a lot of things like that. So it's kind of different, but it does happen in the corporate world. So there also is, oh, excuse us, there's also, they will ask your age. Now, young people, Mr. Gray, young Mr. Gray here, they can ask your age if you are applying for a position. Say you're going to be a fry cook in a place that serves alcohol. They can ask if you're old enough, because certain areas will not allow you to work in there if you're under a certain age and alcohol is being served there. So that's one of the times when they will say, ask your age, and it's okay. They will ask you, they're not allowed to ask your faith, what faith you are, or where you worship. They're not allowed to ask, as I said, what political party you're linked to. They're not allowed to ask if you have children. But if they do ask you if you have children and you do have a child, you'll say, yes, I do have a little one, but I have an excellent babysitter, and if any things happen to that babysitter, her grandma would surely take care of her. So make sure that all the young people who have children, make sure you, if they ask you, you say, I do have a young one at home, and I have an excellent support system at home. Also, babysitter, she's probably waiting right next to the phone to see if I got the job. And so that's a positive, because they were bringing up a negative. This lady has children and she's going to be late. She's going to have children problems. The baby's going to get sick. So you make sure that you let them know. If they ask you if you have good transportation, if you do not have a car, a car, that's my New York, so I'm sorry. But if you do not have a car, make sure you let them know. I take the bus in. I get up a half an hour early each day to make sure I catch the bus on time, or an hour if it's running slow. I call the transit to let me know what time the bus is running. I also buy bus passes or make sure I have exact change ahead of time. So let them know that you have a support system for transportation as well as baby sitting, if you have any of that. Let them know that you're a very early riser and that you like being to work 15 to 20 minutes earlier. So make sure that when they ask you those questions that may have that little edge to them, that may be questions that you're saying, wow, why are they asking these? They're trying to see if you're going to cause them problems doing your duty or getting there on time. Don't be rude, be polite, and answer them in a positive way. Put a positive spin on it, so make sure. Yes, dear.
Oh, I'm sorry. We are close to time. So
Wow.
I was asking if we can interviews.
Sure, let's do that. Let's do that. And we'll close with a sample thank you letter. You must send them a thank you letter for the interview. That is so severely important. Okay, you know what? I would like to, Mr. Young, Mr. Gray.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Now, I'm going to put you out there, but you need this. You know what? Have you been on an interview before, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, have you? What did you interview for?
I interviewed for a shipyard.
Oh, excellent. So you did logistics. You did movement of material and stuff?
Well, it was kind of like a mock interview.
Okay. Okay. So okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's kind of like this.
Okay, good. Well, you're getting ready to go through this again, sir, but what I'm going to do is, I'm sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to interview you as a mock interview, and you're going to be a young man who's applying for a job at a hydroponic / a hydroponic and aquaponic facility.
Okay.
Do you want to step out in the water on this one?
I can.
Come on, sound a little more excited. You can do this, young man, okay? Now, you know about hydroponics, right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then we're gonna have fun with this, okay? You know more than I do about hydroponics, but I'm gonna ask you first, sir. No, okay, you're gonna walk in. Tell me how you're gonna walk in.
Well, I will walk in standing straight up and down, with a smile on my face, looking up, making eye contact. Before the coronavirus, I would, shake his or her hand, and introduce myself properly. And then I would allow them to sit down, then I would sit down.
You beat me on that one. I was going to get you on that one, and you did it. You hit the ball out of the park on that one. I was going to say to you, Who sits down first? Very good. You are a smart young man. You're going to do quite well. Okay, let's get started. Okay, first, sir, thank you for coming to the interview. Ms. Smith was supposed to bring you in, but she went on an early lunch. She was my secretary, and she went on an early lunch. So, so she didn't bring you in. She was going to introduce you to me and ask, how early did you get there? Your appointment was at 10 o'clock. When did you get there?
I got there like 30 minutes earlier instead.
You're really enthusiastic. Okay, 15 to 20 is normal, but 30 is even better. Well, thank you, sir. That was good. Okay. Okay, so let's put on our serious glasses because here we go.
Okay.
You ready? Okay. Young sir, thank you, Mr. Gray. I won't say young sir, I'll say thank you, Mr. Gray, for coming to this interview. We're very excited about filling this position, sir. Can you tell me, how did you hear about us?
Well, I've been researching your business for a while now online, and I have used some of your products, and I thought that my program, through what I've been doing as I've been growing up, I would be able to help benefit and or improve your business and also other people, your customers.
Okay, well, thank you, sir. Okay, why did you choose this company? Why this company? There's a lot of hydroponics companies. Why?
I chose your company specifically due to the simple fact that, one, you guys are local, and two, you guys are the biggest in my area.
Excellent. Very good. You've done your homework. Okay, let's back up a little bit, okay? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself is, all my life I've done agriculture, and I've found the joy in researching plants and seeing how they grow and the science behind them. And I do like the way that hydroponics and aquaponics improves the health of your plants and the growth rate of them.
You're excellent. You're on point. You know it. But I'm going to ask you a question. Hydroponics it's the science of growing plants without soil or very little soil. Without soil, right? Am I on line with that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How does my company's goal and your goal, your goal is to stay in this career field?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're going to go to college for it, right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How does it work as far as world hunger is concerned, or helping the world? Okay, let's just take it this way. How does it help in world hunger? Tell me how you feel this product will help with world hunger, and where do you see it going in the future?
Well, instead of using chemicals and a lot of mass land soil, it will, one, improve the health of people who are eating these fruits and vegetables, and it'll also make it more compact, because in a hydroponic and aquaponic system, you can stack it instead of spreading it wide. In a agriculture field, you cannot stack it as well as you can aquaponics or hydroponics.
Do you feel that by that stacking method, we'll have more space, which means we can produce more and therefore feed more people?
Absolutely, because we do have skyscraper buildings, but instead we fill them with people and not anything.
Okay, you're on point. Thank you. Okay, and so your goals are to proceed in this this field. What can you do for me that other candidates can't?
What I could do for you is improve your method on building your aquaponic systems.
Okay.
I can design a better, how do I say it, system than most of your other employees.
Oh, you can. Okay. And this is a proven fact. You have done it before?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you work well as a team, or do you prefer working by yourself?
I would prefer to work as a team because things go faster as a team than it is by myself.
Excellent. More ideas are put in the pot, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's briefly touch on the aquaponic area also. Tell me the pros of aquaponics as opposed to strip fishing or just ocean fishing.
Well, the pros of aquaponics is one, you do have fish and creating that fertilizer for the plants. They're thus creating two sources of food.
Mm.
In aquaponics, you can use a tilapia or salmon or food that or fish that we consume as food, which creates um, two end routes of food for everybody, thus being better than agriculture on land. Um, it also, in my opinion, is cleaner than hydroponics because hydroponics, you add fertilizers to the water,
Mhm.
thus increasing the chances of, the fruits being bad.
Excellent.
Um,
I've got a trick question for you, sir, because you're bright, but I want to give you this, okay? And we're almost finished with this interview, but I have this for you. Why do you think the vegetables such as cabbage, broccoli, radish, let me give you sweet potatoes, or why do you think those are more successful in a hydroponic system?
because they consist more of water.
They are root vegetables also.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's a part. That is part of them. You're right. They have more, they retain water more, and they are a root vegetable. And now that with hydroponics, they are, instead of going into the soil, they're teaching them in essence to grow without the soil. Very good. So I'm going to ask you two more, really three. What are your strengths?
My strengths, as in what? Can you please elaborate on that a little more?
Okay, yes, sir. What do you do well? What do you do well that will, what do you do well? Because, a baseball's person's strength may be a home run hitter. What are your strengths?
My strength as in personal life or as in the
As
job?
in you, what do you think that like, are you a honest person? Are you a hardworking person? Are you a man of integrity? Do you complete tasks? Do you study, read, so that you learn? What do you think?
I believe I am a very organized man. I
Mhm.
do like to keep my area clean and organized so that when I go into work or do anything in the hobby field of mine, I like to do it quickly and in a rapid succession that is manageable, um,
Excellent.
which allows me to get everything done in a proper timing, and I can go back and clean it up and everything's neat and it looks good.
Time management. You are a time management person.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I want you to say. Now, if they ask you something like that, I want you to let them know that time management is one of your strengths because everything falls into that time management category, sir. Okay? Time management and persistence and needing to finish a job. Okay?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that is important because you sound like the type of person that would, that's you. And for a young Black male, I'm going to put it out there. They don't think we follow through a lot of times on those things. So that's a character you must display. Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. What is your weaknesses, young sir?
My weakness, that is a hard one.
That's what I'll give you a buzzer on before you even begin.
My weakness, I should say, is waking up in the mornings, even though I do get up early.
Keep you on that one before you finish. Matt, no, you don't have any weaknesses. You never say you have a weakness. Why would I want to hire you if you can't get up in the morning? Your plants will be up and you'll be still sleeping and they'll be all dead when you get in there. Sir, you do not have a weakness. You know how you answer that, sir? And if I had more time, I wouldn't have interrupted you. But you were killing my heart when you were telling me your weaknesses. You sound like a young man that doesn't have weaknesses. You know what you have, young man? You have areas, I call them soft areas that need fortification, areas that through education, studying, and time will become stronger. My soft spot was math. So you know what I did? I went to college, took a math class. I never got really good. Guess what? I got good enough to do my job and not make errors at my job. So if I would ask you that again, what are your weaknesses? I want you to now tell me what your weaknesses are. Answer that. Don't tell me what your weaknesses are. Answer it. Think of something you don't do well. Like you said, getting up in the morning. You could say something to the nature of, you know what? I used to have a hard time getting up in the morning, but you know, now I don't, because I have 4 clocks that go off at one time, plus my granny calls me or whatever you have to do. Okay, so go ahead and do that again. What is your weakness?
I used to have a weakness in waking up in the mornings, but now I do have 2 alarm clocks and people calling my phone. So,
Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Okay.
yeah,
You understand, young man?
yeah.
Okay. So, okay. Now,
Oh, Mrs. You
yes,
also don't say I don't have any weaknesses and just sit there, because then you're deemed, they may think you're arrogant.
no,
You
you
want
know
to
what?
turn your weakness into a positive, something negative into positive as you
Yeah, right. I would never say I don't have any weaknesses, as Miss Smith said. But I would not, I wouldn't even broach, I don't have. I would just say, as you did, I used to be this way, or I used to have a hard time with this. I used to have my car, I was late because I depended on a person who took me in a carpool.
Mm-hmm.
I fired her and I got me a car. I started working extra jobs to get a car so I can be work on time. So as Ms. Smith said, don't sound arrogant, but sound like positive. Say, I used to, but I fixed that problem, because we all have weak spots, you know. So, and I think I asked you, I don't know if how you describe it. How do you describe yourself? How do you describe young Mr. Gray? Who are you?
Young, intelligent Black male that seeks knowledge, really. Um, I like to grow my knowledge further out than what I have already. It brings me joy to be able to know something I didn't know already. Or if I did already know it, it helps to finalize it and build on it, make it stronger.
Excellent. How would you think your last employer would grade you? What would he say about you?
My last employer, I believe
Yes.
he would say, like on a grading sheet, A, B, C. Is that
Mm, you,
or
you can grade it any way you want. You can say excellent, fair, you know, he came, he showed up, he didn't fall asleep.
I would
Okay.
I would say my last employer, which is Eudora Gray. I will leave her description in the bottom. uh, and I would say she's seen me grow, so I would say she would grade me pretty excellent.
Okay. I can't ask you what you thought of your last employer. That's one of the questions, but you can't honestly answer that and live. So, so especially if it was bad. And I think that would be a very prejudiced question anyway. You know? So I won't ask you that one. I'm going to tell you, young sir, because of time, I could ask you 1,000 other questions because you're so sharp. And I would hire you. I would hire you because I feel you. I feel your honesty. You're sharp, you're smart, continue to learn. And you did an excellent job. You did an excellent job. You're sharp, young man. And what you need to do is take those skills, get with your buddies and teach them, because you're sharp, young man. So I'm going to turn it, I'm smiling from ear to ear, and I was so befuddled. That's such a word, befuddled. Who uses that now? I was befuddled before, and you brought a calmness to me, because you make me know that there's hope in the world for young people like you, young man. And you have a responsibility now to go out there and be fishers of young men and help them to be successful. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what you have to do. Well, thank you very much for this interview. And now I'm going to give it to Ms. Smith, who's going to just give that last little, what do you say to everybody who's out there right now, Ms. Smith? Don't give. She's looking at me like, what are you talking about? Don't give up.
ever, ever give. Looking for a job is a job. And you learn from experience. Also, your interview, always ask at least one question, okay? Not how much will I make? When is the next day off? When is the next holiday? Don't do it, nothing of that nature. But ask a question about the company. Okay. You want to ask a question to determine if there are any areas that you need to improve in during about your interview. That could be a question. And also be present and keep moving forward. But also
Right.
don't ever give up. Okay.
And don't be afraid to make a mistake, because you learn from mistakes. So, okay, our next thing is going to be something that you're going to get a kick out of if we have time. Ms. Smith is going to interview me, and you can throw questions at me, young sir, if you want to.
Quick question, Julia, do we have time?
We can ask a few questions, especially if Trey would like to participate. I think that would be good for
Sure,
him.
and I wish you would.
Just a couple of questions, just two or three.
Okay. Any category you want to interview me in, I could be a nurse, a doctor, I could be, now this is hard because, I'm showing you that you can walk into an interview and you could get through that interview pretty good, unless you're going for a surgeon, then you're out there. Okay, but let me take a deep breath. I haven't done it, and I've been retired for 5 years. Okay, haven't interviewed in 30.
Trey, did you want to go first?
I will let you.
Okay, what category first?
Okay, this is going to be for an entry job. And let's say it's going to be customer service. Okay.
Okay.
If you had, let's say that I hire you and you have a coworker that decided they want to get a 5-finger discount, which is they're going to steal something. Would you report it? Would you report it, or would you stay silent?
Well, one, no matter who it is, I'd have to report it. Even if it's my cousin or anyone, or sister or brother, because if company theft, it weakens the company. My reputation is also at stake by knowing this person. So yes, I would report it, but first I would take them to the side, let them know that I know what they're doing, give them a chance to report it first, so that they could at least have a clean slate. But I would have to report it because theft is theft, and as I said, it weakens the fiber of the company. So yes, ma'am.
Okay. Trey, you want to go, or you want me to go?
I can
Trey,
go.
you want to ask me something?
Okay, go ahead, Trey.
How can I entrust you not speaking freely to our customers when they disrespect you?
Well, customer service is everything, sir. You don't know what type of day that customer may have had. So I have to take a deep breath. I have to understand that I represent the company. My anger is only going to elevate the situation. So I have to take a deep breath. I have to say, okay, let's calm down just a little bit. And if they yell and scream, I'll say, please, let's resolve this. And if we're both yelling and screaming, nothing can get resolved. So first, calming. Second, finding out what the problem is. Third, trying to fix the problem. And if I can't, I will get a supervisor so that we can get the whole thing taken care of. 2 fires will burn the whole forest a lot quicker. So I believe that good customer service means listening to the customer, trying to feel what they're going through, and if it's a bad product, fixing it, fixing what has happened.
Okay. Very good.
Listen.
Okay. So now, does anyone have any questions? Any questions or concerns, or any questions that they would? How do you answer during an interview?
I want to know how she got the job, and I was supposed to interview next. And you guys just took me completely out of the scene. I don't know what's going on here today, but I need that job. So I want to know what's going on at this company that I can't get an interview. What do I need to do to get an interview here? Somebody let me know.
Okay, ma'am, Miss Gray, I'm going to review your file. When I'd have to ask you certain questions like when did you put your application in, and I'd have to pull your file right there with your present. I'd have to ask you to be there, because if you went home, I'm going to blow you off. You know, I'm not going to go back. Pull your file and find out why. And if you're not qualified, and she was more qualified than you are, I will let you know that.
But I was
You know,
here 15 minutes after the time you guys told me to get here. I don't understand what the problem is. Her time is not until after mine, but you pulled her up here in front of me. So I don't understand what's going on today.
you know, I don't understand. I'm going to go back and find out why she got ahead of you. And I understand your frustration, ma'am. I would be frustrated too. Okay, but let's kind of look at this. I'm going to get you a cup of coffee. I'm going to have you sit here for just a moment. If you please give me that moment to go back and find out what's going on. I don't think it's fair either, but let's see what happened. Okay, if you were supposed to go ahead, then I will have my supervisor take you in, review your file, and see why you were delayed, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Here's your coffee. Would you like 2 sugars or 1? I got a donut in my purse if you want that. And a little, ham hock or 2 for
Nobody knew
lunch.
I was going to do that. I just felt like Shanae needed to come out somewhere. You
That's
guys were so
Shanae. You know what? I was Shanae at the hospital, on the phone today with the hospital. So I did have to apologize because I wasn't as customer friendly as I should have been. So, okay. Any other questions?
Yes. How would you answer this? This is why I'm looking at your application, and you know, you didn't put your age on there. How you look so young. How old are you, and what do you do? What do you and your husband do with your kids after hours from work? How do you spend your time?
Well, right now I'm really concentrating on what the company needs from me. I've really devoted my time to I haven't had any time after work, outside of work, because I'm trying to do the best I can for the company. I've got a great support system at home, but I really don't involve my family life and my personal life. I don't mix them together. It kind of gets a little crazy sometimes. So I prefer sticking to the things that work. So basically, when you have more time to think about it, you can formulate a better one. But I always kind of say, I devote my time to work, and my family life and my personal life are always separated. So.
Okay, very good. I wanted to ask that because on an interview that I went on, they asked, would your husband mind if you had to work late?
Mm.
And then, how many kids did I have? I was his business. But I answered the question by saying that, I have a wonderful family and working late will not be a problem.
Right, exactly. And children won't be a problem because you have excellent babysitters.
Right.
See, my husband is supportive. That's why I said my husband is supportive.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to ask what they can get away with to find out what's going on. And when you do get a Shaquita or a Nene who comes out and they're very angry, you did that very well. It worries me, Lady Gray. But Mr. Gray, it's not easy to not get angry again. Someone came and knocked over your hydroponic, tubes. How would you handle it?
Would you like some? No, I'm playing. I would first let the manager know that I am being harassed, and 2, I would rebuild it, because in life things get torn down and you just have to rebuild it.
Okay, you're very calm. Are you always this calm, or you're just joshing?
I'm a person by nature.
Okay, so Lady Gray, what if you had